And you was what, 15 years old?
15 years old. We jumped on the train. I had packs on me. I was in my school uniform, bro. I had my school uniform on. I hadn't even changed. And then one time I got robbed at knife point. 2015, I got robbed at knife. I was in a place in Kent. I got robbed at knife point. And now I had to roll with a big kitchen knife every time I went to, do what I was doing. And then that same night, got drunk, got arrested. I was in the cell the next morning. I'm in the police station. Hello, Mr. Junior Alexander. Yes, you are going to be going to court today. So then I had to have an interview. There was a camera footage of me right at the scene beating up the guy. I saw the camera footage. It was me.
Welcome to another episode of the CEO of You podcast. And today we've got a great entrepreneur in the building, Derrick Alexander. He's a real go-getter, an amazing story to where he is right now. And man, it all started with humble beginnings.
Yeah, I was born at a very young age. It's a joke, so you got it.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was born at a very young age.
Born.
Right? Born in East London, born and raised. Yeah, man, just a young kid trying to make it happen. Born to a wonderful mother, done her very best for me. It was a single parent household where she was basically mum and dad. She done her very best. She literally supported me every single step of the way. And she's been my biggest inspiration, man. So growing up with my mum.
How do you feel about your dad?
Listen, man.
As you said, he left when you was 4.
Yeah, definitely when I'm 4. Dad, if you're watching this, it's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. No problem. Me, I have no hate in my heart for him at all. In 2013, I spoke to my pastor at the time about this now, and I told him that I was angry about my father not being around. And, I prayed a prayer. And from that moment on, I've never had any hate in my heart towards my dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with him. Like, if I see him, it's all love. Obviously, it was a hard situation that happened. It was a tough situation that took place. Why he left, I don't know the whole story why he left, so I can't fully judge him. Tried to find him Instagram, but he's obviously older generation, so I don't know if he's tried to find him by name. Nah, man. But one day. I'm at peace with it though, because now I'm a father. I am just trying to be the best father I can, and just trying to be present for my son and give him twice as much than I ever had. So all I can do, I'm using that energy of like, maybe, okay, I miss him, my dad, okay, one day, hopefully, he's still alive, God willing, and, he's healthy. And if I met him today, for example, it will be a bit weird, but I'm the kind of person where I'm able to adjust. I'm like water. I'm able to go into anything and I can just mold myself into anything. So it wouldn't, for me, I don't have any problems with him. Like, I genuinely love him, and without him, I wouldn't be here. So it's tough, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, we have to play the cards that we're dealt. If we're playing blackjack and I give you 7 cards, I can't ask you, let me go into the deck and get a king. Let me get a joker. You can't do that. Whatever card you get, you got to make it happen. And I'm a no excuses type of guy. Like,
Facts.
It is what it is. Yeah, okay, he wasn't around, but okay, what am I going to do about it? Cry about it? Like, I got to make it happen. Either way, life's going to pass me by. Time's going to pass me by. Right? People are going to come and go. Hey, like, I'm grateful that at least I had a good mother. Some people grew up with no parents. Some people grew up homeless. Some people grew up in third world countries. So I have a lot to be grateful for at the same time.
And you went through a challenge in particular that is, I don't really hear as much these days. Maybe I'm just not talking to the right people. But you said you went through foster care.
Yeah, foster care, man. So from the age of, from 2003, and it's funny, I'm very obsessed with years. I'm like even I talk to my wife about it all the time. She doesn't understand, but I'm obsessed with years. Like, if you ask me, if you play a song right now, I will tell you what year the song came out. If there's a movie that came out, like a really good movie, I'll tell you what year it came out. I'm obsessed with years. There's something about nostalgia and looking back at life, even though that year was quite tough for me. But I remember a lot of good things, a lot of music that came out around that time. But 2003 was an interesting year because that's when I went into care. /04, so like end of 03, around that those 2 year period.
How old was you?
I was 9. Yeah, I was about 9.
Still
like 9, 10 years old. Went into foster care, and one thing that I was talking to my wife last night about this actually. Our son is lying there, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, bro, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. I'm speaking like so much authority into his life, because one thing that I've realized, and there's a mentor or coach of mine that said this, and he says, and this is so powerful. He said that self-esteem is created in the first 7 years of someone's life. So this first 7 years, the people that you're around, the people, even though you're a baby, even though you're young, you're small, But believe me, that's where self-esteem is created, because that's where the influences, the words, the emotions that you feel during that period of time, that's going to determine, like, again, you can, even if you don't have self-esteem after 7 years old, you can. I had a tough upbringing, but I was able to maneuver because I was around certain people that had self-esteem, and then now I'm in a position where I am now. But self-esteem is what you think about yourself, and self-confidence is what you show other people.
Why did you go into foster care?
Mom wasn't too well. She wasn't too well. So she was, she was a little bit, it wasn't really, she just needed some time to, to recuperate from the things that she'd been through, which, I fully understand. And I'm kind of grateful that happened, because I was running around. I was literally bouncing off the walls, bouncing off the ceiling, bro. Like, So I understand. My mom was doing her best, and she's my queen, man. She's my heart. She's my best friend. And, till this day, I always tell her, I say, Mom, I love you. I appreciate it, because she has to always, she's, I know sometimes she feels like, oh, I could have done. I said, Mom, you done your best. You know what I'm saying? The best you could do. Yes, I went to care, but I came out great. So she instilled things into me from young. In that 7-year period, I can't remember, obviously, but she definitely instilled manners into me. She instilled stuff into me from a young age, even without a father being around. But she played a big part in, who I am today. Massive part. So foster care was hard. Yeah, I was in like 10 different foster care houses. The first place I went to was crazy. So the night I went into care, this story I've never told this on social media. I've never told this, but the night I remember, this is 2004, and a situation happened at home. So then I basically had to leave, and go stay somewhere temporarily, in somewhere in London. And then the next day they were like, oh, unfortunately this was what's happened. Mum is, stuff's happening. So we're gonna move you to, a family home temporarily. It's a lovely lady. I'm like, bro, I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, what is happening, bro? What are you telling me? I can't stay with my mom. I was going crazy. Okay, so the first family I stayed with was an Asian family.
Okay.
Shout out to Mrs. Sheikh. Wherever you are, Mrs. Sheikh, I love you, man. I appreciate you. She was amazing. She had about 6 sons. Oh. And there's an area called Ilford in Essex where, I actually, went, that's where the house was. So, she took me in. Man, this is like a Pakistani family. She gave me the roti, the chana dal. Because people from that part of the world, they're surprised. How do you know our food? Because I lived with you guys. So I know like chana dal, the chapatis and all that kind of, I ate the food. I mean, it was nice. It was really nice. I built a bond with her. She had about 5 or 6 sons that all went to a school called Beale. They wore like brown blazers. And so I felt like, okay, I'm this black kid, like, what's really going on? Like, you know what I mean? But again, we're one and the same. I mean, I don't see color, I don't see race. We're just one family. And even though it was a culture shock to me, I was able to, build a good relationship with her. But the funny thing was, going to school, she would pick me up, she would drive me to school, and then she would jump out the car, and they were like, "Who's that? Is that your auntie?" And I would always have to explain, "Oh, this is just my mom's friend, man. My mom's friend." And they were like, "Okay, cool." I was just, I was a little bit embarrassed. I'm like, "It's not my mom." They know my mom. They're like, "Oh, where's mom?" Right? So it was hard. And then I didn't see mom for a good couple of years. I went from the Mrs. Sheikh to stay with a lady called Audrey. Shout out to Audrey. Lived in a place called Seven Kings, which is near Ilford. She had a son called Jordan. This is better now, because she's Jamaican. Her son is called Jordan, but Jordan had a chip on his shoulder. He's like, I'm the son. Like, why is this little kid coming in? Like, he was like 2 years older than me. And back then there was some trainers called the Nike Shocks. I wish you guys remember that. Man. This is before your time, man. I feel like a granddad, bro. Everyone that's like 25 and old, 26 and older, they would know that shoe. Yeah, he had those, and he had all the trainers and Pokemon cards. He had he had the dance mats back then. This is like early 2000s. We used to have the dance mats. We used to put a dance mat into the PlayStation 2, and then like, it's like a dancing game. You have to step on the arrows, and it was mad, right? Yeah. Then we had Pokemon Coliseum, GameCube, and all that. So he was like a spoiled kid. He was like an only child. So he was chilling, and mom gave, and Audrey looked after me too, and made sure I was good. Then another foster kid came in called Jordan as well. This guy was a savage. I don't know where he is now. I hope he's good, man, because he was, listen, back then, he was like 2 years younger than me. He was outside, running around. Yo, I want this, I want that. I want sweets. Like, man. So then him and Jordan, the two Jordans will fight. And they got the same name. Obviously, who do you think you are coming into my house? Yeah. So then, yeah, it was mad, right? And then I moved, and this is how I got finessed. I remember this time. This is now a year later, 2005, around I believe it was around February, April 05. And I remember getting a phone call from my social worker at the time. She was like, "Oh yeah, you know, we Audrey's going on holiday for 2 weeks. We're gonna put you in a temporary accommodation while she goes on holiday, and then you're gonna come back." So she said, right? Okay, cool. Say no more. She actually. So I remember that night I was watching Crime Stoppers. You remember Crime Stoppers?
No.
Crime Watch.
Oh yeah, Crime Watch.
Yeah, I remember that. A little box TV. I actually got a good memory when I think about it. I can remember a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I remember, you know, they say, yeah, we're gonna take you to a temporary home. So they drove me to this home in West Ham near Stratford, and then I'm sitting in the house and I see this lady, Marion. She's in Ghana. So this is now the third home. A lady called Marion, a Ghanaian lady, Marion Mills. Shout out to Marion Mills, man, lovely lady. She was like, "Hello, welcome to my house, welcome." And then her daughter came. Her daughter was about 18 years old. "Hello, welcome, welcome." And I was crying my eyes out because I'm like, what is happening? How could you guys be finessing me? Are you sure I'm gonna be coming back? Because in my head, I'm like, these guys are too nice. Like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are really like, there's something going on. So I remember that night, clear as day. They took me up because it was a 3-story house. So on the 3rd floor, it was my room and then Marion's room. And the 2nd floor, it was the living room and Natasha, because she had 3 kids, Doreen, Natasha, and Victor. Victor had moved out. Doreen and Natasha, I think, were sharing a room at the time. But they were in between homes or whatever. But they were all around at the same time, like in and out the house, like seeing their mom and so on. Great kids, great family. And that night I was crying. I slept with the light on because I was shook. I was like, where am I? Like, what kind of house is this? Like, where am I? I remember that Natasha went to the shop and got me some sweets, and I ate the sweets and I went to sleep and woke up next morning, started going to school. And now my whole childhood is being moved, because that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they have all these childhood friends growing up from like, when I was 5 years old. I don't have that because I kept moving place to place. I never had the chance to settle in an area and actually make friends. So I'm going to school and I'm feeling a bit out of place. Like, okay, I keep moving around. After a few months, they tell me, "Junior, you know what? My actual name was Junior up until like last year. Like, my dad's name is Derrick, so I took my dad's name, but people still know me as Junior still. So they're like, "Junior, yeah, we're gonna move you permanently to West Ham with Marion," which is actually a blessing. It worked out well because I was the only foster kid in that home, so I got the attention. Okay. I was like a little son to her, and she was obviously an older lady with 3 older children, and she took me in, man. She looked after me. So I mean, incredible. She took me to Old Trafford.
No,
my team, man. I don't care what anyone says. We're gonna win the league. I know I sound delusional, but we're gonna win the league.
I was literally about to say, let's not get too delusional.
I mean, I didn't say when. I said we're gonna win the league at some point, right?
Okay, I agree.
But yeah, maybe it could be 2040, but you know. But back then, we was on top of the world, you know, Ronaldo, Rooney, whatever. So she took me to Old Trafford, not to watch a game, but just to kind of tour the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, she did great experiences, man. I mean, did I ever travel with her? I don't think I ever traveled with her. I was supposed to go to Ghana with her, but I never ended up going to Ghana. But yeah, she was a great carer, man. Taught me a lot. Discipline was on point. Like, no TV in the weekdays. Like, she'd take the TV out my room, and then I'll have she bought me a PS2 for Christmas. 2005 Christmas, all my days. That night, and I knew I was getting a PS5, so PS4 2. So back then, if you remember Christmas, right? You remember Christmas back in the day.
Of course I remember Christmas.
Yeah? Like, you know something's popping. You know the tree downstairs, there's something for you that you know you're like, I couldn't sleep. I woke up, ran downstairs, opened the present, PS2, right? It was a slim one, the small slim one. Yeah. Then she told me, no gangster games, no GTA. But you know me, I grew up with loving the gangsters, like just loving Scarface, all that. So I got the Scarface game. I was able to, my boy William borrowed me the Scarface game and the GTA game. I was playing the game. She would always take it out. Don't play this game. She would confiscate it, and I'll sneak into her room and take it back out, play it. But that was when the transition happened in my life. That's when I started going into badness. That 2010. So 2005, 6, 7, 8.
So walk us through that, going through the badness.
Yeah, so 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. I joined secondary school in year 7. Things are going well. I'm, class clown, getting with, you're getting all the chicks, obviously it makes sense. I'm all the girl, because in school you had girlfriends, but it wasn't like anything serious. It was just like, it's like a token. Oh, here's my girlfriend. But you ain't doing that. You ain't really going out there and going cinema and all that. I didn't have no money. I didn't have nothing, but you just like, girlfriends or whatever. But then 2010 rolls around, and now I start to, get myself, around some people that were the cool guys. Because what I was saying to you off camera was like, yeah, I wanted to be the cool guy. I always wanted to fit in. Now I'm the opposite. I don't care about fitting in. I rather go against the grain. I do things now intentionally that is not common. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be with everyone else. I want to do my own thing. Me and my wife have a different type of mindset now. But back then, it was about, you're going to be with the crowd. If you're not with the crowd, then you're missing out. And there's this thing called, there's this sales strategy we teach. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out, FOMO. And that's what we had. Oh, you don't want to smoke with us, bro. Ah, you're moist. Back then, there was a word called moist. Yeah,
I remember that word.
You remember that word? Or you're wet, or you're nah, man, nah, man, you ain't on it, man, you ain't on it. So it's like the peer pressure. It's a real thing. Mm-hmm. So I remember I smoked my first spliff, 2009 or 2010. I was 14, 13, 14. Oh. So so in our school we had a field on the top. Like it was like you walk up the stairs, there's a massive field, and on the side there's like some gates, but the gates were like those bar gates with that those silver panels, so you can remove them with the right tools. Someone was able to remove a panel, so now we can walk outside the school premises and go to the shop. So we would bunk school. Year 8. Listen, sorry to the teachers, man. I know you guys, maybe you guys knew already, but it is what it is. If you guys are watching this, it's gonna go viral. They're gonna see it, but either way, it's all good. But man, we would go outside the school and then buy chips, like buy all this stuff. Like we only had like pocket money, so we would spend that £1.50 and then buy sweets, buy KA. KA was like 39p back then, right? Shout out to KA. Now it's like £1.20, right? But different season. But yeah, I was bunking school. So when I started smoking, that's when I thought I was in the crowd. Now I'm a bad boy now. And I'm with the boys. Then I started listening to certain music, and then you start women, young girls at the time, and you start kind of flirting with them, and it just becomes a lifestyle. You want to be a part of them. But because my kid, thank God for Auntie Marion, because Auntie Marion kept me on the straight and narrow. She would never allow me to go out after dark. So it's like the man that was outside, all the boys like Stratford guys and the guys that I could have been out with, she was able to kind of say no, like come on. She would reel me back in, like you go be home on time. She got me my first phone, a little Nokia phone. So now she would call me. Listen, where are you? Are you coming home? Like,
so what happened in August 2010?
So August 2010. So this is now. It was almost like so I actually left. So I wasn't with Marion when I went away. I got caught smoking weed inside her house. I was billing up one, smoked it, and then she smelled it. She ran upstairs, and my door had no lock. It was mad. You see them doors where there's no lock. It's like just literally, it's like there's no way I can lock the door. She can open it anytime. It's smart because she's like, you could be doing anything in there. So she locked.
What made you brave enough to smoke in?
I opened the window. And I think I put something underneath the door. I'm not sure if I did. But the way the house is designed, it's like, if it smells, if your mom's cooking downstairs, you can still smell it. Even if the door's closed. It's marijuana, man. It's a flipping herb, bro. It's goodness. And that was the stinky back then. That was like the proper, whatever, stuff that back then.
So they got the extreme pack.
But I got the extreme super sour pack. So now I'm smoking it and I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling, man, listening to music. And I'm smoking out the window at the same time. So I wasn't smoking in the room. I'm smoking out the window, but then the wind is blowing it back into the room. She runs upstairs. She goes, so I hear her footsteps. I'm like, I throw it outside. And she comes to my room. She goes, you're smoking weed, in her accent. And the Ghanaian accent, you're smoking weed. I was like, no, I'm not. And she saw little crumbs on the table. She goes, yeah, I got you. She put it into a bag. She done this. Bam. I got this. I'm going to show this to the social worker. You're going to leave this house. You should not. I was like, okay, it's over. Now I'm going to go off the road. So now I started staying out late because I knew I was going to get kicked out. So I started staying out late. I'm like, I'm with the man them now. I'm with the boys. I'm with this. My boy, Andrew, we would go to his house in the shed and bun it like after school going crazy. And I would even smoke before school. So now I'm going into school high. They know, like, I'm like, you know your eyes, like, back then it's like, come on, I'm 15 years old, man. I don't know, this is new to me. I'm not smoking, it's the buzz, like, I'm smoking, I have the munchies, and I wouldn't care, but I would like, oh, forget school, man. I'm living to the weekend, man. I can't, it's Friday here yet? Like, that was what I was doing. No interest in school. I didn't care, I was just playing football. Then I always had a goal to be a footballer, but I didn't have anyone that really pushed me. If I had a team or something, I would have probably made it because I was really good, but I didn't really have anyone at the time. I went to football later on, but didn't go into football then. But yeah, man, 15. So yeah, August rolls around. So I get kicked out of her house. So it gets to about June 2010. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's enough. You're leaving.
And you got kicked out that same month?
Around June, May, June 2010. She's like, it's over. It's like you're just taking a piss, man. You need to leave. I was like, you know what? I understand. I was crying, put me in the car, waved me goodbye. Obviously, we were still friends. We were still like, she's still my auntie, but she couldn't. She doesn't need that. And it's true. Like, man, smoking in the house, like that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was wrong, but it is what it is. I was getting influenced. So now I go to another home in Leighton, a guy called Julian. Shout out to Julian, man. Him and his son Emmanuel was staying at the house. Beautiful home. This guy was making money. He had all these suits. He was like a smooth Jamaican guy, like old school brother. Like he was kind of, I think back then he was like in his mid-30s. But he was like proper smooth. Always got his haircut, suits, like looking suave, smoothly spoken. Hey brother, hey son, welcome to my home, man. Yeah. But now it's a father figure. But this is the first time ever having a father figure, so this is crazy for me. I'm like, this is the first time having like a dad figure. Looking back at it, Julian was like, but yeah, again, we were cool. We never really fell out or anything because I respected him, because he kind of looked a little bit younger than me. It's like, okay, he looked young for a father. He looked like a young father. It's like he's someone that can relate with me. Like, okay, yeah, I was once young too. I understand what you're going through. But now I start listening to Tupac. I start banging out the Tupac albums. I'm like, this is it, yeah. I start getting, I'm like, Tupac. Because Tupac is my favorite artist. Yeah. He's my dog, man. Shout out, rest in peace to the GOAT.
I would have to treat you with my respect to it. I don't give a fuck about these hoes.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. Hey, he got me gas, man. And Tupac is still, to this day, my biggest musical inspiration for sure. Just his character, obviously, he was controversial, but what he stood for something. And he wasn't scared to talk about what he spoke about. But anyway, now I start going to OT. This is where it gets mad because now I link up with the brothers and they're like, listen, you want to make some money? I'm like, yeah, bro. So now I'm coming to school in the Echo puffer jacket because back then we used to wear a brand called Echo. I don't think you guys remember that. That's definitely you remember that.
I don't remember that.
So shout out to the brothers that know this. This is like, again, if you're like 27 and old, 25 and older, 26 and older, you will know this brand, Echo. You had Echo, you had Lot 29, and you had Academics. These were the three brands we were rocking back. Tracksuits, Echo hoodies, Echo jacket. It was lit. It was vibes. So I had this dark blue jacket. And then one time, one of the brothers, like, we're going to go to OT. We're going to go make some money. You know what I mean? So we went out there.
Then you was, 15 years old?
15 years old. We jumped on the train. I had packs on me. So the jacket that I had like a pocket here, like a bottom pocket here, a bottom pocket here, and obviously pockets in my trousers. I was in my school uniform, bro. I told you, listen. I'm telling you, this is transparent. I had my school uniform on. I hadn't even changed. So after school, I got the phone call like, yo, come to the trap house. I went to the trap house. They're bagging up the food. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go out there. They say, no, let's do it. And then my boy Fem was like, okay, we're gonna go do this thing. So went out there, whatever, done what we had to do. And yeah, man, came back, and then I had a couple people that I was doing that with. You know what I'm saying? A couple sets of people that I was doing that with, and you know, we kind of had a good time. Money was being made. And now I'm 15 years old. I've got £1,000 in my sock, £2,000 in my sock. Obviously, it's not all my money, but I got a good cut. I'm getting £1,000 in my sock. Like, you know, I'm like living this life. I'm traveling outside of London to do these activities, right? And, you know, being a salesman, just put it that way. You know, what the type of sales it was you guys can figure that one out. But you know what I'm saying? And I was selling, like talcum powder. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, like
black and white.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like that experience was great because I started being an entrepreneur unknowingly. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, I'm giving them deals. I'm like, yeah, you can get this for this, you know, and I'll get my customers and they're calling my phone. But back then you had to give a fake name. So like, my name's Ricky. So my name, I think it was Ricky or something. So they're like, oh, it's Ricky there. Yeah, I'm looking for this, and then you link up with them, and you give them the stuff to give you the money and whatever. And then one time I got robbed at knife point. 2015, I got robbed at that. I was in a place in Kent. I got robbed at knife point, and now I had to roll with a big kitchen knife every time I went to, you know, do what I was doing. And I had to. Now I'm getting drawn into. Now I'm starting to feel like, okay, if I have to use this, I'm gonna have to use it. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much how, you know, intense it was, because now I'm like, okay, I can't afford to be losing any more sweets, right? I gotta make sure that I, you know, keep on top of this. So two white guys came up to me, like, give it to me. Like it was like a small little, it was like a little.
Were they gang affiliated or they were
older guys. They were cats, bro. Like man them, like cat man them. Those type of guys. Yeah, give it, man. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I'm like, bro, you take it, man. Whatever. I ain't trying to get. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to get messed up for nobody. And they were ready to do something. So I was like, you know, whatever. After that, I had to defend myself, but it never happened again anyway. But yeah, man, that was the situation. Then, so this is all before prison. So now I'm building.
So that was all in 2010.
2010. So I'm building up my rep, building up my name. I'm like, yeah, this guy, yeah.
So getting the stripes.
Yeah, getting the stripes. And then, you know, eventually, I started doing more moves and then more extreme stuff, and, you know, more people getting, you know, more things are happening. And then I had another set of friends that I was with one night, August 2010. And there's a person that we had issues with. We basically robbed the person, and, you know, things happened, things transpired. Police came right where I was, and I already had previous offenses like a fray. I was on the brink of getting an ASBO because I was doing, the word of fray means like a riot, like a mini riot. I was causing riots in London, East London. I was breaking windows, breaking doors, just going off, just doing a madness, just being reckless. You know what I'm saying? Just being a madman. And, you know, I had this situation with this guy, and then the police came right to the scene. The bully van, someone called the police, obviously, because we're fighting with this guy for a good 5-10 minutes. You know, the police came, like, you know, yeah, you know, you're arrested. And I remember, I'm at this point, I'm high. This particular night, I'm high out my head. You know what I mean? I'm just like smoking, drinking all day. So I wasn't really in the frame of mind to even know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, whatever, man, arrest me, bro, whatever. I don't care. But I had money to come home. I had money that I had just made that I wanted to spend. So it's crazy how that same day I had a big amount of money that I had made from stuff, the sweets, right? So back then, we wasn't worrying about cars or watches. All we wanted to do was buy tracksuits. That was my thing. The Adidas tracksuit, the silk tracksuit with the 3 stripes. That back then, that was the fashion. That was like if you had a Adidas, they had the red one, the one that Stormzy wore. Yeah. But that song was kind of that's 6 years ago. But even before like 2010, people were wearing that tracksuit. I'm saying with that white Air Forces or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna get the 110s and the track. So I'm thinking of all the things I want to buy, you know, with this money. I was, you know, buy some bud and, you know, make some sales. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come out. So when I got arrested, they put me into the cell, and I'm like, okay, I gotta come out because I want to spend this money. Like the money's not with me. Obviously, the money, I didn't get arrested with the money on me, but it's somewhere stashed. But it's like, I need that money. You know what I'm saying. So actually, no, I think I had been arrested previously for that. Yeah, I'd been arrested with that money on me. And then I was in Kent. I remember that. I was in Kent, and then they arrested me and they drove me back to London. They were like, you're doing something dodgy over here. Why are you doing it in Kent? You don't live here. I was like, I'm just with my family. Like this money's a gift. So they tried to investigate where they got the money from. You know what I'm saying? It was in the thousands. So they didn't, they were like, okay, you're 15 years old with thousands of pounds. Like, and you're in Kent, you don't live in Kent. So they drove me back to London, and that's when I went back to my care home. But then they seized the money, but then they sent me a letter saying, you know, we have no reason to hold the money, you know, we're gonna send it back to you. You know, so the money was on its way back to me when I got arrested. So I'm like, damn, I'm trying to get this money right now so I can go shopping and floss and, you know what I mean? And I was still in school at this time. I was still in year 10. But I dropped out. At this point, I gave up, man. I was like, you know, this money that I'm making is, I'm putting up a new Ralph Lauren. Like, I'm wearing the stuff that no one was wearing in my school. New kickers every time. Like, I wasn't really wearing like the LVs and that. We didn't know about that stuff yet, like the Gucci's and stuff. We wasn't aware of that. But it was more like, because back then it was like, that was too high end. And, you know, that was out of our thing. And then we didn't, but it was like, Ralph Lauren was big back then. Ralph Lauren was the one. Like, Ralph Lauren polos. And I had this jumper with a big blue horse. I came into school like, Ralph Lauren, because people that's what their dads were wearing. I'm coming with the blue Ralph Lauren and then the matching kickers with the blue stitching. They're like, like, what are you doing? What kind of money are you making? Like, every day is a new fit. I'm wearing the Adidas Superstars and all because back then sneakers was the big thing. Like, if you had good sneakers, that was like a flex. I mean, and every day new sneakers, Air Forces. You know what I mean? I bought like 20 kickers, man. Crazy.
So what was your parents saying at that foster home? When you're pulling up with all this money, all the new clothes, is he not?
So as I just started doing this whole activities, Julian said, bro, you're out of there. Yeah, so he kicked me out. Nah, not at all. He sent me I went to South London. Actually, I remember. I went to South London. I went to a place called South Norwood, which is near like, it's like near Brixton. So now I moved there with like 4 other foster kids, and they're on badness. A guy called Samuel was from Stockwell, and he was, you know, doing a madness. And another guy called Mewiser, which was an Afghanistan brother, but he was also doing a madness. I'm in this foster care home, and now this couple that I was staying with was like a Jamaican couple. Proper old school Jamaican couple, like, you know, like a married couple with like 3 bad boys. I don't know how they found these kids. Like, how did they find us 3? But we all got along. We never had any, you know, we were smoking together. We were just chilling together. We just, you know, go back. Now I'm in the life. Now I'm listening to the sort of, back then we had, you know, gigs back then. We were listening to Skepta, obviously all the grime people. But yeah, we're listening to like gigs. So there's Pain is the Essence. There's a song called Pain is the Essence. The game is a lesson. Finally, us. That tune right there was what, that tune that I was like, yeah, I want to be.
It back then,
bro. That song was the hood classic. Talking the Hardest obviously is number 1, right? Talking the Hardest. That song kind of went commercial, so people didn't really listen to it as much. We listened to it when we were like, but Pain is the Essence was like a song where it talks about the struggle. And there was another guy called Joe Black. This is again before you guys' time. Joe Black with a blue. He was like the Blade Brown of then. He was like the Nines of then. He was cold. He's from Islington. Hardest one. He made a song called Millionaire with a guy called Squeaks. And all these songs, that's why music for me has always been my therapy. Like, music for me is a therapy. Like, it really enables me to like get into a zone, whether I'm in the gym, whether I'm, you know, thinking about my missus and feeling romantic, I listen to a slow jam. Like, my mind responds to music in a very unique way. Yeah. So back then I'm listening to music, I'm doing my thing. So anyway, South London was like, that was like 3 or 4 weeks. I left there, that was only temporary. So now they go, okay, now you're gonna go to your permanent foster care placement. All this time now, I'd only seen my mom a few times. After 2005, I saw my mom again in 2007, so 2 years. I saw her, and I kept seeing her like every other month or so, but it wasn't that, because she was still recovering, you know what I'm saying? Bless her soul, she was still recovering. She done a great job, man. Shout out to mom.
So in 2010, you got arrested.
Before I got arrested, I moved into a care home. So this is where I actually got arrested while living in this care home. So remember, it's all leading up. Julian, Auntie Marion, Julian, South London. Now I moved back to East London in Forest Gate, back to where the man them are, right? And I'm in a care home. So now...
What do you mean a care home?
A care home is like a residential care home. So basically, like, we have like staff, you have like 3 or 4 staff, like 24-hour staff, and you got like loads of kids in different... Remember that Tracy Beaker?
Yeah.
Like that. Basically like that.
Okay.
So like a residential care home. So like a massive house. like a mansion type thing with like 7 rooms, bare, and all the kids like were all troubled backgrounds, and like parents are doing this, parents are doing that. We basically ain't got nowhere to go, so we get put, and we're all bad kids. And I met 2 brothers. I met my boy Shane, my boy Ree. Those 2 guys, still my friends today. I actually saw them recently. They're doing well. I was actually in jail with Shane, my boy Goes, and he was my realest brother. He was the one person that had my back. I had his back. It was that Ghost and Tommy. He was a white boy, but he was like the blackest white boy I ever knew. Shout out to Shane, man. I got to link up with him actually. I'm gonna call him today. But yeah, man, that's my brother. Like 2010, we were outside doing moves, doing all types of stuff, like moving around, like robbing, doing this. Like back then, the old West Ham Stadium in Upton Park. The real West Ham Stadium, before this rubbish, stupid Olympic Stadium, this commercial dead stadium. It doesn't even look. It's just too new. I like the old school feel. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we used to go outside that stadium and just watch the game, and so many different things, man. Like Shane, he was probably my one true friend growing up. Back then, I had a lot of affiliates. I had a lot of mandem I was doing, but he was the one guy that loyalty was on 100. Even when we was in jail, we was on different wings. He supported me, he had my back, never switched up. When he came out, he wrote to me. He was the only brother that really wrote to me, really. Crazy. Actually, you remember, back then we had to write letters. I mean, even now people still write letters, but it's different now in the system where you can go visit them, you can send emails or whatever. But back then it was letters, and handwritten letters, bro. No typing. So yeah, man. Anyway, so I'm moving to this care home, and now I'm around real drillers now. Now I'm around another guy that I met. So three brothers. Now I'm around them. Now I'm going back to OT. Now I'm getting intense. So August rolls around, and remember, Forest Gate to Ilford is not a far distance. So I go to Ilford. There's a bus. Back then I used to get the bus. I ain't rode the bus in that 10 years, but I rode the bus from Forest Gate all the way to Ilford. It's one route. It's called the 25 bus. Back then there was remember there was long buses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was a long bus, literally one straight road all the way from Forest Gate to Ilford. And then that same night, got drunk, got arrested. I was in the cell the next morning. August the 5th, 2010.
What?
August the 3rd, 2010 actually.
What happened after that? How long you stay in that cell for?
2 days.
2 days.
And on the Monday, it was a Friday I got nicked. And on the Monday they go.
You got nicked?
Yeah, I got arrested.
Yeah.
So I'm in the cell. I'm in the police station.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Junior Alexander. Yes, you are going to be going to court today. I'm like, what? I remember her voice. That's some annoying. I was like, yeah. I said, no, I'm not going to court. Because back then there was something called NFA. They still call it NFA now. NFA means no further action. I was like, I want an NFA. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, well, and she goes, no, well, there's a lot of evidence. So then I had to have an interview. No
what
comment.
Evidence?
There was a camera footage of me right at the scene beating up the guy, and then I saw the camera footage. It was me. There was no way to. You know what I'm saying? 4K, 5K, bro. 10K. It was.
It's one of the ones that you just.
I was on the mains. I was on the main road, man.
But the camera was that clear.
Yes, and you know how crazy it is. Like, I still go there every week because I got friends out there. I got my barbershop is not far from there, and that same road where I got arrested, I walk past there a few times a week.
That's great.
Because it's still close, close to home. So, the NatWest Bank is still there today, right opposite. I even show you a picture after this thing's video. I'll show you the part of the road where I walked yesterday. I got a trim. I walked there yesterday. When I walked on that same patch where it's eerie. It's a creepy feeling. Like, imagine that's where I got nicked 13 years ago, and I'm literally free man today. It's crazy.
So they showed you the evidence, and what happened? You just like,
I was like, no comment, bro. No comment. Oh, what? Well, I'm not telling on anybody. Number one, there was no reason, and they were like, oh, if you say certain things, we'll give you a lighter sentence. I'm like, I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying nothing to nobody. I don't care what you tell me. Listen, even till now, I have that same mentality. You just that's how we were raised. No snitching, no talking. You know what I'm saying? That's how we are. That's what was drilled into me from seeing my brother doing what he was doing. I talk about that off camera, but my brother was he was really outside. Like, I'm talking about he was a old school. I can't even talk about it on camera. That's how mad it was. But shout out to my brother, man. But it's just like No comment. They were like, okay, cool. Say no more. Yeah, you wouldn't. All right, no problem. Court on Monday. So I go to court now. I'm trembling. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Because now it's my first time. Because obviously I've been to court a few times before, but this is like minor cases. This is now a real big case. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, damn, man. They're like, I remember the lady was like, I remember her voice. She was like an old white lady, you know. I'm sure she got a family at home. I'm sure she got a lovely kid. I'm sure she got a husband. I'm sure she's just doing her job, right? But she broke my heart, man. She goes, Mr. Alexander, you know, you have been doing this. You have been accused of robbery and and aggravated assault. So therefore, we will be remanding you into custody until October the 18th, 2010. So now I am literally, it was August the 3rd, September, October, 2 months and 2 weeks. I had to be in this prison. Ask anyone that's been to prison. Being in a remand is probably the worst thing, because being in a remand means that you don't know when you're going to get sentenced. You don't know how long you get, because you have to wait. So remand means the case has been adjourned, so they need time to investigate more. But remand time, the good thing about remand time is it goes into account. So when you get sentenced, they might give you a lighter sentence based upon how much remand time you've done.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like equity in a property, for example. It's like having equity in a sentence type of thing. And obviously with good behavior, if you don't do too much badness in prison, obviously then end up getting a lighter sentence. But anyway, got sentenced. Now I get put into the prison van, and I'm like, shit, I'm really here. Like I'm in, and then in the prison van there's like little cells. You don't get put in like a van with, oh yeah, right, how you doing, mate? You're right, mate. Yeah. No, ain't that. Ain't that. Hey, what you in there for, mate? No, ain't none of that. The van has different cells, so they open a little cubicle, like probably like this right here, like a little cubicle in the van. It's called what do you call it? A Serco van? I think it's a Serco van, like a security van. Mm-hmm. The prison officers handcuff you. Yep, you're off to prison, mate. So now I'm with my codees, some of the brothers that I had been sentenced with, and they were like, yo, what's gonna happen? But I'm like, I don't know, I think we're going away. So then you go, listen, you've been sentenced for a remand. And they had to explain what that meant. I was like, I'm going to prison. They're like, yeah. I was like, bro, that money, man. I want to buy that tracksuit. I was still thinking about that tracksuit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. So this is where it gets mad, because I get put into the prison van, and then I see some people that I knew that was in for some other cases that was a bit sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some other cases, and I knew them. They were from my ends, and they were like, yo, they were going away. Luckily they didn't get birded, but I saw them the other day, thank God, when I was flying out. He was working at the airport. Shout out to him. But yeah, man, it was an interesting period, because now I'm in the van. They're driving us to this prison, man. I don't know what to expect. You hear all the stories about like prison violence and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, I'm young. I can defend myself. I can scrap, no problem. But again, you hear about a lot of horror stories about like, you know, people just things popping off.
What were some of the stories you heard about?
Hot water and sugar was the worst one. Hot water and sugar. They pour hot water in your face and put sugar on top, and it melts the person's face. There's stories about snooker balls in socks, and then people would get newspapers, wet it, and then dry it on a radiator so it's hard. It's a weapon. And then the fourth one would be a toothbrush. They'll sharpen it and make it into a knife. Those are the 4 things that you heard about. And I saw all 4 of them transpire in prison. All 4 of them. I saw it happen to a lot of people, those things.
What was the worst one?
Probably the stabbing, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Tell us about those, because we spoke with Premium Bowers, and he was like, stabbing just happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, it happens out of nowhere.
Even Ty Mitchell was saying.
Yeah, Ty, I know Ty, yeah, boxer, yeah. He's Ty boxer, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Ty, man, doing big things. Yeah, man, like, bro, it happens out of nowhere. It's just literally.
You got a story about when one happened and you just actually caught off guard?
Let me get to that in a minute. Let me just show you. Let me break. I'm going to go to that story, but let me break down like when I first went in first and just show you like. So I went in, and then like you get put into this big gate. So now you enter the prison compound. Big gate, big black gate. You see the sign or whatever. Walk, and then you drive in. You stop the car, stop the van. You know, turn off the engine. They opened up the cells. They release everyone out one by one. So I went out. They have to search you first. Strip search, which is it's the worst feeling in the world, man.
That's bare naked and
Bare naked.
Like, yeah.
You know, like check your bum as well and everything.
Because obviously, back then, people were conceding in certain areas or whatever. So it was mad, man. It was mad. It was messy, man. It was
emasculated when.
Yeah, it's just like, who do you think you are? Like,
I saw you were still 15.
Yeah, 15.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy. But obviously, people do smuggle things in prison as well.
Yeah,
like creating a crazy way. So, but anyway, then on the same night, they put you into like a healthcare for the night. It's like just to kind of like checkups on you, like if you got any conditions or anything, just kind of know like what they're dealing with. So when they put you onto the wing, then and you're good to go. So that same night, I called my mom. She didn't know I got arrested. I said, Mom, I'm in prison. She was like, what? But my mom's a very calm person. She's not like super like emotional. She's very calm and composed. She's like, I can't believe it. What happened? Why didn't you tell me, are you okay? I want to come visit you. It was a long story, but she had a long conversation. It was very emotional, but I just said to her, Mom, I promise when I get out, I'm going to change. Like, just please, like, forgive me. It's a mistake. I was drunk. I was whatever, right? So the next morning now, they put me into the cell. They put me into the wing. Hey, this is Junior. He's here. He just got here.
But they introduce you to them.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's up, man? Everyone's looking at me like this. Where you from, fam? That's the first question I asked you. Where you from? From East Stratford. Yeah. What are you in there for? Because they want to know. There's the first two questions they ask you. They don't care about that. They don't care.
Are you meant to answer that question?
Yeah, you have to, innit? Because obviously, like, remember, these guys are
rhetorical question.
It's always the brothers that are. Yeah, nah, it's like if you say the wrong case, you know what I'm talking about. You're gonna get.
Oh, okay.
You're finished.
Yeah.
Which we all had that same mentality. That whoever went in for that is gonna get. They're not gonna have a good sentence because no one should be doing anything to our women out there of that nature. It just doesn't even make sense. I don't care what story they give. It's wrong, and they deserve a battering for that anyway. So they have to ask us like, what are you in there for? Like, this is a robbery, whatever. Cool, send them more. So how old are you? Yeah, that's the next question. They're like, what's your name? Send them more. Cool. And then they just walk around, but they see how you move, and then get put into your cell, and you get that you get banged up for a long amount of time, 12 to 15 hours, sometimes 24 hours, 23 hours. Based upon how good you are, your behavior, and all that kind of stuff. And I just got used to prison life, man. 11 months. Like, I didn't know how long I was gonna get altogether, but I just rode it out, man.
How much do you have?
I done altogether 11 months. I was on remand for 7 months, and I got sentenced to a year. When you get sentenced to a year,
remand was meant to be 2 months as well.
Yeah, remand was 2 months, and I got remanded again. So
so they just kept pushing.
October the 18th, and then they remanded me again to October, November, December. I think it was January or February 18th. So now it's 7 months remand.
So that's a piss take.
It's a piss take because I'm like, what is happening? Like, bro, just sentence me, man. Let me get out of there. So eventually they sentenced me, and then 2017 they gave me 12 months, do 6. So when you get sentenced, you do half the sentence. So 12 months, do 6, and then came out. I'll talk about some of the stories before I talk about coming out. So. Yeah, man, there was a fight one time in the canteen. The one that I remember the most was a guy had a fork. Just started going mad. And the brother just like, bah, bah, just stabbing him up. It was constant. It wasn't just like a little. It was like a proper brutal type of attack. You know what I mean?
Walk me through that day
with a fork.
So yeah, I walked into the canteen. Yeah, the canteen was the place where you're gonna catch someone slipping. That's where. Ask anyone that's been to prison. Like if you go to the canteen, that's where. If you look at all the movies, like Rise of the Foot Soldier, great film, films like that, even like some other films like Intent and stuff like that, those films where there's a prison scene, it's always the brothers in the canteen or like, association time. That's when get popping because now you're free. There's no handcuffs on you. If you see someone that you don't like, get popping because you got about 10 seconds to go ham, and then obviously the guards will grab you. But depending on the respect of that person, they might let guards can let certain things slip, certain things slide based upon.
That happen?
Yeah, certain men have so much respect in it. They got the keys to the whole jail, so they kind of in a way control the guards. Like the guards will be like, yo, just do him quickly, man. Just put him in the cell and do your thing, and then just what I mean. Like because you gotta understand, like the guards also get an incentive. There's also money they get given. There's certain incentive they get given. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these prisons. You know what I'm saying so. that's what I saw. I mean, the brother getting forked up in the canteen. It was intense. It was mad. Blood everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy, man. But you know,
Did you die?
no, he didn't die.
How many times do you reckon he got stabbed?
I couldn't tell you, bro. Multiple times.
For the foot.
That's how it is, man. It's another day at the office, mate. It's another day at the office. It's just what it is. Like, you just gotta you gotta have your head on a swivel.
Quick question. So did you man have knives and fork in there, or just forks? I thought they were just giving you spoons.
In the canteen, yeah. I think we had we obviously had fork because the guy got forked up, but I didn't, like, you know, like butter knives. But
Okay.
yeah, I think there was knives. There was knives and forks in the canteen, but there'll be a lot of guards in this watching. There'll be guards sitting with certain people. There'll be guards sitting with certain tables to make sure nothing pops off. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is, man. So yeah, man, it's one of them things.
So how did you spend your days in prison?
Bro,
Because you said like 12 hours in your cell, 15, sometimes 23.
reading. I read a book by the only book I really read in there was Redemption by Stanley Tookie Williams. Rest in peace to the God, man. He's incredible guy. He was the leader he's the one that created the Crips. You know, the Crips gang. He actually was founder back in the 70s. And there's a book called Redemption, talks about his story. I completed like 90% of it. Great book, man. Talks about his life, lifting 75 kg dumbbells. I remember the book like it was yesterday, man. Just like he was literally and then he went to prison for like multiple murders in the 80s, and he was in jail for like 50 years, and he eventually got killed. Arnold Schwarzenegger, funnily enough, was the government of California at the time, and he commissioned him to die by lethal injection. Because in America you have like capital punishment, it's like, you know, lethal injection, or they put you in an electric chair, which is, I don't know how that would feel. Imagine like knowing you're about to die. Like,
That's crazy.
It's mad. Like, you know what I mean? Electric chair is not, it's still around now, but lethal injection for those criminals that have done a mad crime, they put the injection, and within like a couple hours they're dead. I'm saying, depending on how.
Not minutes. Is it not minutes?
No, not hours actually. You probably, I think it's about half hour. But he was massive. He was so whams, they took him longer.
Oh.
Literally, he was like not dying. They're like, oh, yeah, what's going on? But eventually,
Double dose,
yeah. Like, let's go, man. Come on, get it in him. But yeah, his story was crazy, man. I read that book. Reading, gym, eating, man. I was doing a lot of gym in there. You know, that's why I'm in the gym now 5 times a week. And to be honest with you, like, the gym is one of the best places in the world for a man to be, man. Mm-hmm. No distractions. Yes. So I came out in 2011, July the 5th. So quick story, I actually was supposed to come out in August, but they gave me a month early release.
Why is that?
Because of good behavior. So I wasn't, after a while I stopped fighting. Then other guys, because after a while, the old brothers, the idiots, the one that was causing all the issues, they left. So then I was like one of the guys that was now not running things, but I was like, I had respect. I had the credibility. So now I'm not getting into no problems. I got Mandem backing me, I'm backing them. So we got a little clique. So we're walking around together, making sure everything's tight. No one's, you know what I mean? We're just moving accordingly, moving in a way that is on point. So then eventually I got released. My boy TK, TK, man, we're in business together now. He was in prison with me. And shout out to TK, man, that's my brother for life. We got business together, we're doing great things. He's in Dubai right now. He's doing trading, investing, doing a great job. And, you know what I mean? I'm so happy that we met, even in those circumstances. He was also doing a madness. He was in for some crazy stuff, and he's now changed his life around. Incredible guy, man. So I met him towards the end of my sentence, and then, you know, thankfully we reconnected through IG, and now we're back in touch again. But yeah, man, came out. You can ask TK can verify everything that I'm saying, because TK knows, like, you know, and yeah. The TK, like, one day you speak to him, one day, you know, when you come to London, we'll link up together and you can see, you will tell you, like, everything that I say is real. There's no fabrication. Everything that I say is verified. TK was there, 2010 to 2011, around that time. So he was there. So yeah, man, that's what it was. And then I came out, I got the release. I got the phone call from my lawyer saying, listen, we're going to give you some good news. We'll release you a month early. So I was like, cool, let's go. Went to the court. Royal Courts of Justice, which is crazy how I had an office literally 5 minutes from that building a couple of years ago, and I walked past there one night, 3 a.m, just crying, looking outside the court. Like, it's a massive court. It's in Blackfriars in Central. It's a massive court, royal, beautiful, like royal, majestic building. I've never seen anything like it. It's like Buckingham Palace, bro. So I walked into like the court to get released, but it's just me and my lawyer. Like it's just because obviously it's I'm gonna get released, but the judge has to officially say you're released. So imagine going to a massive courtroom where it looks like the Old Bailey, bro. Like, it looks like where probably massive cases have been done. Just me and one guy and the judge. Hello, sir. Yeah, you're getting released. Okay, goodbye. I walked out of the prison with the see-through bag. I wish I had a picture of me, man. That's one thing I wish I took a picture about. I didn't really care about that back then. It wasn't about social media. Instagram wasn't even around back then. Can you imagine that? I feel like an old man. Instagram, Snapchat wasn't around. Just Facebook, but even then I didn't really have social media, so I didn't really know about all that. But came out, and the first thing I done was I asked for a cigarette. I said, "Boss, you got a cigarette?" And I remember one guy walking past, he gave me a cigarette called Kent. It wasn't a brand that I ever heard of, like an all white cigarette called Kent. Gave me one, smoked it, called my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm out." I surprised her. She goes, "What do you mean? I thought you were gonna get out a month later." "No, Mom, I got early release." "Oh, son. I called my brother. "Bro, you're out." So he drove me, he picked me up in his Jaguar, drove me to his house, sat down with my family, with my brother's fiance, and then obviously his daughter, who's now a big girl now. She was born in 2008, so yeah, she was like 3 years old back then, 3 years old. And then my mom came and celebrated with me and all that, and then yeah, man, we just got it cracking from there. So that's when my life, now I'm got to make certain decisions.
Yeah. So let's talk on a more positive note.
Yes.
So where did the real entrepreneurship that you're doing right now come into play?
Yes. So I'm going to fast forward a couple of years because a lot happened between 2012 and 2017. But let me just kind of make it brief. So 2012, I came out, I moved into a care home. I moved into another care home, but this was a much nicer care home, not the one I was in before with the drillers, right? This is one that's a bit more refined, nicer. It's in a place called Barking, which is like...
I link my thing from
Barking. Shout out to Rams, man. That's what I'm talking about. Literally, 2013, 2014, 2015, those years were literally just church. No social media, no gal. I was celibate for 3 years, bro. No sex, no alcohol, no weed, no Snapchat, no masturbate. Well, masturbation was around, but yeah, it was around. It was there. It was like some little bit of tension. You get me? It was around. It was in the vicinity. But no, for real, like I was like no distractions that and that's why the person I am today is a reflection of that moment, because I literally developed myself with God, with the Bible, church every week, like on the street preaching to. And now and that's what I'm saying. I'm not one of these guys that like, I was in trouble, but I'm really from the streets. 2013, 2014, 2015, church. 2016, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Robert
Kiyosaki. Listen, I'm saying so many names, I'm gonna get in trouble, man. Robert Kiyosaki, man, like that book. And it's crazy how God works, because I met my old school teacher. So imagine like 2016, I went back to the old school where I dropped out. Shout out to Mr. Green, my teacher, my head of year. He sat down with me and said, "Bro, I see you doing well. I know you went through some trouble, but now you're doing well. You got a job now. You're doing this, you're doing that. Have you read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" He asked me 2 questions. He goes, "Have you heard about affirmations? And have you heard about a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" Now, little did I know, that was the one conversation that led me to where I am today, because as soon as he told me about the book, I went on Amazon right there, ordered the book to my house, next day delivery.
I was going to say, next day.
Straight up. And then he told me affirmations. I was like, affirmations, okay, like, I am great, I'm successful. I was like, I ain't heard about that, but, I go to church, so I know about the positive speaking stuff. He was like, yeah, you know what, you should really tap into this. So I was like, say no more, I'm ready. Like, what do I have to do? He goes, let's link up every week, I'm going to start mentoring you. Imagine you're also, and this is why Mr. Green, I give him the utmost respect, and we speak quite regularly. When I had my son, he was so happy. He had a new child as well recently. That guy, he is really. I got a really good people around me, because I'm so busy with life. Sometimes I forget how many good people have been in my life, and it's conversations like this that really unlock those people again. It's like, man, I gotta call these. I'm gonna call every one of them today. Cause I'm gonna I just wanna thank you. Because sometimes life gets in the way of your kids, wife, business, and we're focusing on what we're doing. But sometimes you got to look, I say, you know what, this person, it's crazy. So Mr. Green, We started meeting up every week. Started mentoring me. Started, let's talk about goals. Let's talk about mindset. Let's talk about success. Let's talk about, how you can become a better person, right? So now I started reading the book. I completed the book. When I completed the book, I was like, you know what? I was working this job at the time. So I was working in recruitment at the time. I was like, listen, I need to start a business, man. That was my mindset. I was like, it's time to start a business. I tried to set up a clothing line. That didn't really go according to plan. But then I met this gentleman that I told you about when I was evangelizing that told me about network marketing. I had been shown many other companies in the past, but I didn't really believe in it. I just, had my reservations. But then I met this guy. We sat down. Fast forward about 6 months later, I'm still working in the job, but now I'm starting to think about entrepreneurship. I want to travel. I want to drive this whip. I want to wear this watch. I want to have the diamonds on my watch. I want to have a beautiful wife. I want to have kids. I want to have a nice home. I want to travel the world. Business class, traveling to Dubai. Like I was thinking about this, but remember at that time, I didn't have the environment of like good people. Like I didn't have ultra ambitious people around me. People that were around me, God bless them, they were spiritual people, they were good people. They weren't the people that were gonna get me to where I needed to go. You get what I'm saying? So then, because I'm sure you guys have heard this before, you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time around, right? You're an average. Like my top 5 friends are verified. They're amazing. They are people that are extremely successful, and majority of those people are actually wealthier than me. They got more properties, more cars, more money, more success than me. So it's like I'm always aiming for that next level. Grateful, but not satisfied. Okay, I'm grateful where I am now, but let's move forward. So anyway, 2017 was when I started my first business in network marketing. Joined the company. £200, bro. Well, I actually paid 400 because I bought 2 packages for some reason. I don't know why I bought both. I bought both because no, just refund one. You only need one package. I had the one package, and I built a team in the thousands, man. Impacted a lot of people.
So what did you do? What is it that's been done in the network marketing?
It was trading. So at that company, we were doing trading and investing, and we were getting involved. Getting people to join this community where we were teaching them about investing. How to trade, how to invest, how to get involved in crypto. At that particular time, crypto was still up and coming.
After relationships, I know the money came along with it, right?
Yes, it did.
And you was telling us off camera the amount. Look at that.
Yeah, man, it's just coming in.
Can you say it yourself instead of we say it?
Let's just say it's multiple 6 figures. It's just, I like to give. I was saying to him a few months ago, I like to keep the mystery. I like to put everything out there, but yeah, they can see my Instagram. They see, and it's verified. It's real. Like how I live on Instagram is how I live in real life, for real. Like I'm not out here just posing in jets when I've flown in jets. Like I'm not out here. Let me pose in this background to look cute. Like I'm actually that guy. Just to be honest, I must just not even. It's not even him. It's a confidence, not arrogance. It's just me just knowing who I am, and I've worked hard for what I have today. I've worked hard for the lifestyle, for the people, and the crazy thing is, people would say, oh, Derrick's successful. But for me, there is no such thing as successful. There is success. And success is a progressive. I want you guys to, this quote might sound a bit mad, but it might sound a bit complex, but it's very simple. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
All right, fair enough. I'll drop you my personal question.
Yeah.
What's 7 things that you can't live without?
7 things.
Yeah, 7 things.
You said that like it was a lot.
I know.
That's a good question. Does family count as one, or should I say like
family counts as
family?
One. You can't name individual names.
Yeah, there's so many, like 10 of them. All of them, 7 will be. Yeah, it's family. My phone. I ain't gonna lie. My phone is my phone and my MacBook. That will be one. Okay. Those 2 devices, I can go anywhere in the world to make money. I could be, on a desert island, as long as I have those 2 things and a charger, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And Wi-Fi, right?
I was about to say,
yeah, Wi-Fi.
We'll add Wi-Fi.
Yeah. You add Wi-Fi and it's free.
Yeah, free.
Yeah, why?
You need it, right? Unless
no.
Unless you got built-in Wi-Fi on that MacBook.
Let's just say the MacBook comes with Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Go on, technology. We'll say technology.
Yeah, technology.
Cinema.
Yeah, technology. It's a good question, man.
Should have kept that Wi-Fi for free.
My suits, for sure. My suits, my
jacket's cold.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love my suits. Next one. Wow, this is a good question. I'm actually, for once, I'm speechless, man. I would say definitely my books, including the Bible, but I got a few books that I read regularly. Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, Hung by the Tongue, and 7 Laws You Must Honor to Have Uncommon Success. Those books are probably the ones that I got in my bag right now. Incredible book. Always reading in that. Very small book, but very powerful. Man. Definitely my hair products. My hair, because my hair, gotta have the curls, man. I think my hair products like that. No, I can't live without that because that will mess up my. You gotta have the curls, man. I'll be honest. I would say toilet, but like grooming, but like all my beard. I use like 10 different things: beard oils, face oils, and neck oils, and would like a lot of stuff.
Like I said, neck oil.
Yeah, all types of rich stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy stuff, right? So
I said rich stuff.
I know it is.
The only level when we get there. Yeah.
rich stuff. Also, this is a good one, man. This is a good one. I can live without social media. I don't need social media. I can definitely make phone calls, man. I'm old school. I think this is emails. Good relationships, good friends.
Okay.
Even if it's a few, like I've got a small circle, but like my real ones, they know who they are.
Last one, no.
Last one, little Supermall. Supermall is like,
bro, you're addicted to Supermall's nice though. I ain't gonna lie.
Like that drink,
I can live without.
I can go moments without doing it, but it's like I need it again. Like,
That's a Supermall.
Nah, for real. Supermall. Oh, I had one this morning, and it still filled me up till now, bro. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. I never heard anyone say that.
Supermall and Caribbean food, but I'm gonna say Supermall is life. Like that drink, I could have it I could have it. It's such a dope drink. You can have it on an empty stomach and still feel full. It's mad.
Yeah, it's a mad drink.
It quenches your thirst. It's fresh. It's got
therefore quenches you first. I'll tell you that.
Bad one drink. It's got the glass bottle too, man.
Yeah,
The glass bottle.
All right,
Yeah,
Derrick. Thanks for coming down.
I appreciate you guys,
sharing
man.
your story.
Thank you,
amazing story.
Thank
you
you
went
so
through
much.
some
Trials and tribulations, made it through to the end proper.
I appreciate
living the
that.
life, living with London side. We see Canary Wharf.
Canary Wharf, man.
Living the real side. The real
Yeah,
side.
thing, man. Just
Surrounded by
multi 6 figures a year. Came
Yes.
through the challenges.
Yes.
And obviously, it's one of the ones that like people never know where they end up, but you obviously knew.
Yeah, man. I knew. I wrote it down. I knew where I was gonna go. In 2012, I remember I wrote down some goals that I wanted. I wanted a good woman. I wanted, good business, and a lot of those things are ticked off now. I wrote it down. I made a decision that I was gonna do it, and I was gonna keep going until it happens. Rome wasn't built in a day. We heard that all the time. Imagine if the person that was building Rome, let's stop, man. I give up. There will be no Rome. One of the best cities in the world, right? So
Best empires.
yeah, exactly one of the best empires. They led the world for many years. So conquer the world. So to conquer the world, you gotta make it happen. So appreciate you guys, man. Much love.
Thank
much
you
love.
for coming
Thank
down.
you for coming down.
You're welcome. Absolutely.